Hey babies, I'm ready, I'm excited, I got energy. I'm also frustrated and exhausted, so an interesting blend. Today I coded for about 6 hours without noticing naturally because it was so frustrating. I refused to stand up. And when do I realize that I'm actually getting tired is when my back starts kind of hurting and most of my activity becomes to actually sit different. And anytime I interfere and I start saying, "Oh, this would make me feel more comfortable. This would make me feel more comfortable," that's when I realize, "Oh, okay, like no, I'm actually making it worse, right?" And so when you're frustrated and you kind of like keep moving, that's basically it's a self-destructive behavior, I would say. Because I want to take charge and change something, but the reality is it's me taking charge and being there and doing what I'm doing that's making me frustrated. But yeah, huh, interesting. Actually, like, wait, this note? Yes, this is the note. It harmonizes with today's note. Become a cup, be water, but work and adjust the filtering system, I guess. And it's funny. I don't know, it's not funny. I just remembered when I actually like thought of that. I was actually thinking of friends, and I was over the past couple of months. I've been considering a lot what enters your mind and how you process things. And what are the thoughts that you actually like approach life with, and what are the thoughts that you actually have hold dear to you. In fact, today as well, I actually like wrote a notes, and I'm really excited to do the notes of the same day, but I know if I do them the same day, then it's just gonna be one of those like energy, right? Like I'm excited, I'm just spouting stuff, but it doesn't truly sink in because every time I actually read them. Well, one of today's notes was this: any emotion we don't agree on is not ours, me and myself, basically. That's the engagement. So, the concept of becoming a cup is so there are two concepts in Japanese there's ma and there's mu. 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 Mukashi, mukashi. Yes, mu. Mu. The concept of mu is space. No, is nothingness. The concept of ma is space. Again, almost both of them are exactly the same thing, except ma points at the distance, the separation, the kind of like the volume that encompasses, whilst mu points at there's nothing there. And the goal is to consider that when we have a bottle of water, we're not really like using the plastic, we're using the space inside the plastic. When we're passing through a door, we're not using the door. The entirety of the door is so that we have that space in between. Interestingly so, though, the same cup of water that you have, basically, an empty cup. You can put coffee in it, you can put water, you can put whiskey. And I think when we first come to realize we have a cup that we have been misusing, and I really want to point at misusing. It's as simple as like I drank coffee with my cup and I did not wash it. Whether I like it or not, the cup every single day is gonna be filled with stuff, right? Like no, consider your mind as a vessel, an empty vessel. And what you have is the space, which is maybe time, where your thoughts kind of like roam free. If you consider your mind as a vessel, then every single night after you sleep, you wake up, there's either thoughts from the day before, or there's just like the day to give you different thoughts. And if you're doing stuff differently, and if you're just like cleansing your thoughts every night, or like creating some form of habit that creates closure for your thoughts, then effectively you're emptying your cup every single day. Efficiently, inefficiently, I have no idea. The idea behind this specific like note is who do we actually listen to in the day? Some people we love. There are some things we listen to them, to listen from them about. Listen to them about the other stuff. Wow, I don't know why that came out so hard. There are some things that I could actually listen about to them, and I would love to hear their opinions. But with other things, I can literally just be like, shut the fuck up. And there are other things that I don't really care for. Other people I don't really care for, but I would want to listen to them. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad people, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're good people. Just have something worth listening, right? Like look at your cup, you could actually like put water in it, you could put whiskey in it. Each one has a different effect. You can even fill it with like sand. You can fill it with soil. You can fill it with gold. Water you can drink, it hydrates you. You can fill it with cake. Cake feeds you, right? Or chicken or soup, whatever. Gold has more value when it comes to the money, cash, for example, or something like this. But you can't eat it, it doesn't actually serve you. And I think that this filtration system that I'm thinking about right now is like, no, what do you really listen to? What do you fill that space in your head? And to be able to distinguish between like, this is what I'm listening to, and this is what I'm listening to, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing. And again, both of them are the same because ultimately any thought that comes through you, if you allow it to come out, or if you allow it to stick in, eventually it's going to express itself. So if I'm listening to somebody and I'm like, all right, and then eventually I repeat it enough in my head, does it really become my thought? Or if I'm listening to somebody and I go like, and I sit and I actually like consider what he said, digest it, and then come up with my own concept of what he talked about, or she, then does it make it my thought? How do we decide what exactly is it that we're filtering? And what exactly is it that we're allowing in because we're just like a bit indifferent maybe? And allow people to influence us and allow people to kind of like sway our decision making process. And sometimes some decisions are simple. Some decisions are very much like, if it's money, it's easy, it's cheap. But some decisions, man, are a lot money. Some decisions are health, housing, moving. I remember once, man, I was convinced to kind of like let go of my house and go live somewhere far. And I was like vibing on the idea for like 2 years. And then when the time came, I realized what I had to like give up in order to be able to achieve it. And I wasn't prepared at all. And the fucked up thing is after I was done, I was like, no, where was I the one that actually was excited? And that's where I was thinking maybe I was running away from something instead of going towards something. Right? Like going towards something means you have a base, you're going there, and you either want to establish a base or you want to dominate, conquer, like exist, build, relax, chill, whatever you want to do. Well, most of the time, when there's something you're trying to avoid, you start listening to anything else. And so, as Bruce Lee said, water becomes the cup, water flows and crashes. Like, be water, be anything you want. But ultimately, what we are is not water. We could work and operate like water, but what we are the vessels of that dynamic. And if anything, like our mind is the vessel, we are the filtration system, right? We are the ones that clean the cup, we are the ones that maintain the cup, we are the ones that interact with everything that enters the cup, we're the ones that decide what we want to do with whatever's in the cup. Who knows, man? How do we make these decisions? Actually, if you will, any way we look at it, we are a lot more involved than we ever give ourselves credit. But at one point, I think there becomes a certain, and it's very much neglect. But you can't explain it as neglect because we only realize it's neglect when we learn to care or give a fuck differently. Not just about us, about anything, right? Once you're developing those kinds of feelings, you realize all the times that you weren't actually doing them or using them or any of that stuff. So we're a lot more involved than we think we are. But it's really our intention is either like passive or lacking, but our involvement doesn't change. It's like you have to go to school, but whether you're going to school excited or whether you're going to school because you don't want your mom to eat your head or just keep yelling at you all day, right? Either way, you're gonna fucking go to school. I'm sorry, I'm remembering the days where I was like, oh, I'm sick, and my mom was like, okay, me too, go. Cool beans and good times. Yeah, man, like most of the times, this is the joy of, I guess, the experience of learning is the fact that you realize shit. If you again, if you're, it's the intention. Because a lot of stuff could happen, and I would not connect it to other stuff that happened before. And the goal is always for you to look at yourself as a different person because you're the third person in your own story. And you can only notice that when you're reflecting back on yourself and you go like, ah, look at that Tariq, how he used to be, right? I don't know, man. Become the cup. We are the ones that literally get to decide what goes in and what goes out. It's a fucking video.